The March 9th meeting of the Town of Chincoteague's Planning Commission to order. I ask you all to stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Heavenly Father, we thank you again for the opportunity to join together and go over the town's issues and needs. We thank you for your blessing to this small community that we have here. You've been so gracious to us, protecting us and guiding us through this past year. Continue to bless those who treat us, the EMTs, our police, our town employees. Protect them against all issues that they may encounter. And bless the residents of this town. Continue to do what we're doing to continue to be safe. We ask your guidance tonight as we meet and direct and address issues associated with the town. And in all these things, we ask your blessing. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I thank you all for coming. Any public participation? Mr. C? No. Thank you. The agenda is before you. Any changes, modifications to the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as is.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Oh, I second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Before we start, I'd like to officially welcome our member, Mr. McComb. God bless you. You survived the issues and you look healthy, wealthy, and well. So, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
The first order of business is, normally we do this in February, but we've been somewhat messed up, this election of officers. And what I would ask is that, Mr. Bowden, if you take over the chair of the meeting, I'll step away, and you can request nominations for a chairperson of the commission.
Okay, let chair and vice chair.
Vice
And
chair,
secretary.
yes.
Yeah, three.
All right.
All right.
Okay, I'll open the floor up for nominations for chair.
Ray Rosenberger.
Okay. Any other nominations on the floor? Nominations closed. All in favor of Ray Rosenberger serving as chair of the planning commission, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Congratulations, Mr. Chair.
Vice chair.
Vice chair?
Molly Cherritt.
Molly Church for on the floor for nomination for vice chair. Any other nominations? Nominations closed. All in favor of Molly Church for vice chair, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Congratulations. And secretary.
I make a motion. Mark Bowden.
All right. All in favor of Mark Bowden, secretary?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
So moved.
There you go, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Bowden. And thank you, commissioners. The approval of the January 12th, 2021 regular meeting minutes. Any additions, corrections, or? I know I had stated at that meeting that I'd like to be more on the tube than face-to-face if we could, but the situations have been such that we really do need to meet face-to-face. It's much more efficient. So, any corrections to the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as is.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you again. Final review of the 2020 comprehensive plan. And again, more for the public's benefit than for ourselves. Mr. Shendrock has been incredible, and we've reached the point where, with some blessings and some guidance tonight, hopefully we'll be wrapping this process up. But Bob, I'm going to turn it over to you since you've been the layman and the leader on this process.
Well, back in January 2020, the council reviewed and approved the edits, this 5-year cycle of edits for the document. There was an errata list that they wanted to go through and have implemented, along with the update of some photos. And so that was left on the books to go through and do. And that's what you have in this revision. If you go to the cover section, if we could go to the next page, Mike. Yeah, there. We reviewed this the last meeting, and everyone was pretty happy with it. It basically says what we're doing and who was there to do it. There was the note to go through and add a note for Ben Ellis, because he was very, very active in the update of the comprehensive plan. At the time, he was the councilman who was sitting on the planning commission, and he was there until the end of the year. And the document was approved at the next council meeting in January. So I really wanted to go through and make sure that we noted his contribution. And there were a lot of people who contributed, and I think the list in general takes care of everyone. Any questions or notes on that?
Yeah, my last name is spelled wrong.
Oh,
Just, you don't have it?
no, I don't have a copy. I thought I printed off 9 and 17. And I'm sorry. I went to
Do you still
minutes.
pronounce it
I
the
thought I
same?
went.
No, I answered anything, you know. it's-
Oh, I thought I went to the meeting minutes and then pulled it out.
Mike fixed it then. Yeah.
Okay,
Mike's already corrected it. So good.
okay. Okay. Oh, it's staying in that same document. What I'll do, Mike, is I'll need to go through, and there's a lot of configuration management of these files. And what I just provided let me take a moment to say what's on your drives. The only thing I provided on the drives tonight were the copies of the files, the cover section, section 1, section 4, 3, 4, and 5, which were the only sections that changed as how I noted. And we're going to go through and take a look at all those changes tonight. That includes the changes in the list of errors as provided by the council, plus the additional photos. For the review process tonight, all I've dropped on the drives are clean copies of those sections, so we could actually go through and see it. Once we go through and review this and make any changes, like misspelled names, I'll go through and provide a full document, which in that folder will have every section with all the edits that have been made since the 2015 version. It'll have an accepted, a clean copy of that section, and then a composite document of all the sections. The reason for all the sections and all the files is to go through and make sure that every change is tracked and made visible for review. The other is that it needs to be done, the changes need to be done in individual chapter files because of the size of the document. And I guess even with a 16 gig of RAM, the fully edited document would probably take about 20 minutes to load. So, and along with the delivery of the final delivery is a README letter which describes the file structure and what's in each file type. So tonight, that's what I'd like to do, is go through the changes that were made. If you back up one page, Mike. Yep. That's the list of text changes, the errors that were pointed out by the council, and I had gone through and corrected. The section and the page numbers are listed there. Okay. And it's, some of them were actually situational changes over time that had occurred, and some were just an error in my selection of an organization name and stuff like that. So I fixed that. So if we move on to the next page, we have the real fun stuff. And this is a list of photo changes in the document. The volume of text in the document had gone through and changed with this revision. And so at some point, there was really kind of sequences of pages with nothing but text, which kind of gets a little boring. And some areas are really nice and would benefit from the insertion of a photo to add context to the type discussion. So that's what we had gone through and done. Again, what you see is the section and the page number where the change occurred, the section in which it occurred, and what was originally there and what was inserted. So we could go through those today. Is everyone happy with the format of these change lists and stuff like that? Okay, good. Anybody have any other notes on the cover section? Nope. Okay. What we could do then, Mike, is go over to
Page one.
section, thanks.
You go that way and I'll follow
Into
it. I'll follow
section
it.
1.
Page 10.
And if you go to page 10,
Way at the top.
Which file?
I think the third.
yeah, that's it. Town plan photo and section 1. And there was one photo change on page 10. If you wanted to page down to page 10, Mike. There we go. Added the photo of the marshland.
Okay.
And if that looks okay, we could close that file and move to section 3. And any comments on this? Everybody's happy? Okay. Yeah, we could go to file 3, Mike.
All three?
Yes, please. And right there on the first page, we swapped out the photo. There was a nice photo of the harbor at the bottom of the page. But since the section discusses land use, we figured we'd do something a little different this time. And if you scroll down a little bit, Mike, there's a photo of a house under construction. And I thought that kind of addressed the section a little better.
Hey, Dave.
Got another one next door.
Yeah, I was just going to say, they're next door.
Now, Kenny went out, and, I should note, Kenny took these photos, and they're excellent photos, a whole bunch of them. And after going through all of them, of course, there were some I wish I had some more of, blah, blah, blah. But as you'll see, they do add a lot to the comp plan, and I used most of them, just about all of them. Is everyone happy with this photo? Okay. Then we could go to page 5, Mike. That's an old photo there. I inserted this photo, and this is to go through and illustrate mixed use. And I thought that was a nice, pretty upbeat vision of mixed use.
Good clean.
Everybody's happy? Okay. We could go page 11, Mike. And in this section, I was really looking for a photo of the commercial corridor, C3. But this was probably the best C3 photo that Kenny had provided. So I put this in. I was really kind of hoping to see something more little bit more multimodal and character, but I think this'll suffice. Unless you want to change it.
A little further to the right, it gets
Yeah,
distinct.
we should go
Yeah.
next door one, you know?
Good. Yeah.
Okay, everybody's happy? Okay, and next photo is on page 13. And actually, Kenny gave me a couple nice photos of campgrounds. And this one I particularly like. Campgrounds are very important to the island's history and its future development. And so it was good to have a nice photo in there. It looks good and it has some color to it. Everybody's happy?
Yep.
Okay, next one's, excuse me, page 16. That's an old photo that was in there. But I think if you scroll down a little bit more, there's, oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, that is an insert. That is the new one. Thank you, Mike. Of Memorial Park. And that is a nice photo. When you go through, take a look at it. It's not all encompassing, but it's one of the reasons, one of the many reasons that people go to Memorial Park. So I thought it was appropriate. Everyone's happy?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see, we could go to page 20. And under coastal resource management, Kenny had taken a couple photos of the oyster castles, and I thought that, along with the riprap, was a real good example of coastal resource management, like shoreline armoring or living shoreline. So I thought that was really pretty good. The picture isn't terribly exciting, but it certainly is a very, very appropriate photo. Everyone's happy? Okay. You could close that file, Mike, and we could go to file 4, chapter 4. Excuse me. Chapters 4 and 5 saw a lot of change, saw a lot of edits. Actually, there was a lot of information that was added to both of these chapters. So it's not surprising that a fair number of photos were also added. Actually, there were places where I wish I had more, but we put in a lot. So, I think we're good. And on page 11 is the first change. And we didn't have a picture of the Chamber of Commerce, and that was really important. They were great. They were instrumental in providing information for updating the plan. So everyone's happy with photo of the Chamber? Okay. The next page on page 12. We're looking for a frequented eatery and this is eatery Kenny had provided, and it looks good. Everybody's happy? Okay. On page 14. Yeah, I really like this photo. It really is nice.
Wow.
So that was added. Everybody's happy with that one? If you scroll down
That's
a
a
little.
great picture.
Yeah, it is. And he did a fisheye lens with
Yeah.
it. And did a great job with it because you don't notice it so much after I did the cropping. So it's really good. It just looks like a big panorama. If you scroll down a little bit, Mike, we take a look at another insertion. That's another nice photo, a downtown. A photo up above was concerning town centers Again, I wish I had something more for the Maddox Boulevard corridor, but yeah, next time. This was a nice photo of downtown shopping. Everyone's good? Okay. We could move on then to page 15, the next page. Added photo of the Hill House, which in some senses is very significant. And that was a nice photo. And that's concerning the history and heritage. There's other sources of history and heritage, but fortunately we addressed them all in the comp plan, so photos of those other places show up. So we're not shorting history and heritage here, but I think everyone's happy with this? Yep. Okay. Let's see. The next one is on the same page. If we scroll down, another nice photo of the outdoor outfitters, and this is the sign says, you know, kayak rentals, and of course there's golf cart rentals and stuff like that. And that's a nice photo. It's a nice, colorful photo. Everybody's happy with that? Okay. Next page. What I did was originally this photo was up earlier in the section where the kayak photo was, and I just moved it back to the section which more directly discussed sports fishing. So same photo, I reduced it in size a little bit and moved it to adjacent to appropriate text. Okay, any comments on chapter 14, on chapter 4? No, okay. We could close that and go to chapter 5. And the first change is on page 8. And Kenny had gotten several nice photos of ambulances. This is one of them, and I put it in. Everyone's happy? Mm-hmm. Okay. Next change is on page 12. And that's the new firehouse, and that looks pretty good. Everyone's good? Okay. Next page, on page 13. We added a copy of the health center, which is very good. Everyone's good with that?
Yep.
Okay, page 15. The updated photo of the museum to include the carving shack. So that was good, and the pavilion. So that was nice. Next change is on page 18. Added CCA sign. The sign is really interesting and nice and colorful. Plus it shows that there's a lot going on there. Originally I was kind of hoping to get a copy of the sign in the building, but Kenny, and very sound wisdom, just gave me the sign, and it looks really good. Everyone's happy with that? Okay, good. On the next page, added a photo of the Y. Everyone's happy with that? Okay. Next page. And this is the boat landings. This is one that I didn't ask for, but Kenny threw in, and it looks really good. So it certainly works, so I put it in. Actually, to be honest with you, in talking to people aren't all that familiar with the boat landings in town. And in fact, I hadn't seen them all myself until I drove around looking for them. And so they're good to advertise. Everyone's good with this photo?
Is that the kayak one?
Yeah.
I've never seen
I
that one.
recognize it either.
Yeah, that relieves the boat ramp itself
Yeah.
from having the kayaks there all the time. And people use it all the time.
Good. And the last change is on the next page. Oh. I'm sorry, Mike, scroll up for a second. Yeah, right there. I thought I put that in. I added a photo of the pier, and that's on page 20, Mike?
Yes.
Okay, and I don't have it in my list. Again, that's a, good, I'll have to edit that in. And then if you drop down a page, there's a little photo of Watson Park, which is really pretty interesting. And so Kenny had gotten that photo, and it looks pretty good. Everyone's happy with that?
Can't just put books in the box there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Now-
great little idea.
It's kind of difficult to assess how well the photos look until you print off the whole thing. Scrolling through it on the screen, you can't tell. So what I did was I printed it, and if you want, you can, these are my scratch sheets. They're not the most recent version, but close enough. If you wanted to browse through them, you can to get a sense of the flow. I try to make sure that the photos flow from side to side, and they all kind of have the same sizing and character. So it looks pretty good. However, what I'll do is I'm happy to entertain additional review over the next month. And at the next meeting, if you'd like, Ray, we could go through and take a poll and get everyone's final input. And if everyone's happy, I'll go through and build the full files and the full document.
So the onus is on the commissioners. If you have something you'd like to see, please get it to Bob.
Yeah.
And again, he's done a masterful job. I tried playing with some of these. I certainly do not have the technical expertise to do it, but that's a very professional manuscript that we now have. It's really a well-done job. Many things.
Well, you're welcome. Yeah, the document's pretty old. It was at least written, the base was at least the 2010 document.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been sooner. So it was like, Word, 95 or something like that. Built the original one. And so what I did in this version was upgraded to a docx format. And then did a lot of the standardized formatting through all the sections. So next time it should make the editing a whole lot easier. It's more standardized.
For those who weren't here, 2010 was the big review of the comprehensive plan. We spent, again, many years on it. 2015, we did spend quite a bit of time on it, fine tuning it and adding those things that were relevant. And then when we got into this, we are actually into our third year of reaching this point. Although we did get council's approval in February of last year, the COVID entered into this process as well as the rest of our lives. So once again, God bless you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Any other comments from the commissioners themselves?
So-
Good to go?
No, just bring your drives the next time, and if we're ready to roll, I'll update them with the full version.
Super. Commission members, any announcements or comments? I promise I'm going to try to keep this brief and short tonight. Mike? Steve?
Thank you.
Bob?
I'm good.
Molly? Bill?
Good, thank you.
I have a couple of things I just wanted to address. I had, for the commissioner's benefit, I hope, or you may not all know, McDonald's is going to go through a renovation. I believe it starts the 17th, which is next month. so maybe a lot of folks hadn't heard that, which is, I hope they keep the general view of it so that it still blends in with the rest of the community. Also, it was interesting to see the last week or so, Landmark Plaza is starting to show some significant activity beyond just dirt piles. And Mark, I had asked for committee appointments. Has that been provided yet to you, or
No, I haven't got that.
you're going to get to our manager, Mr. Talbot, about, is there new appointments on the list?
For
Or-
council?
Yeah, the various committees.
Other than Mr. Jay Savage is now chairman of the ordinance committee, no, none of the other appointments have been made.
So he essentially just took Matthew's place on that,
For the ordinance committee,
for the
yes.
ordinance committee?
But the mayor has not made any other appointments yet.
Okay, good, good. Well, I'll have to bless Jay on that process, because some of the things that we do here will end up on your desk. So, I'll have to say that.
Mr. Chair, the renovation started on McDonald's Monday,
On Monday they're starting?
this past Monday.
Okay,
We're in
'cause-
process now.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Did they close it?
Yeah.
Okay, because I had heard the 17th,
No.
yeah. And, well, they said it's not going to take very long.
No, they got a crew there working.
Yeah, the crew that did the Exmoor, I think, is the same crew that's doing this one, and they went through that in a matter of maybe 2 months, maybe 10 weeks, maybe something like that. Yeah. Have you heard anything more about our friends in South Main Street relevant to the campgrounds?
No.
Okay.
Nothing has been, I got the plans from my desk, nothing's come from health department yet on that.
Okay. I did notice, was that addressed at the Budget Committee about the Public Works needs down on that South Main Street?
Public Works, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Well, the drainage issue has been escalated.
No, that was not addressed at budget and personnel, but myself and Harvey, we have a plan, we've spoken to the owner, and we think we've got it worked out, so.
Good,
Shouldn't be
good.
an issue.
Yeah, because I didn't think it behooves the town to have to absorb that kind of,
No, the owner is he's very amenable
Yeah.
to helping us out.
and he has been, yeah.
We're gonna basically wedge the road up on the west side and provide a swale on the west side of the road, and he's given us a easement to get across to a suitable site to dump it, so it should work just fine.
That's great, yeah. And I saw the fence was up, it reduced the dust, so that's good.
Yep.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to
I have
adjourn.
a motion?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So moved. God bless you all. Thank you.
I did miss, my first response.
Thank you.